Have you ever wondered who the first woman to fly an aircraft was, or who was the first woman to earn a pilot's license? Our journey begins in the late 18th and early 20th centuries, a time when societal norms were starkly different from what we know today. Yet, it was during this era that some brave women dared to challenge the status quo and take to the skies. Among the earliest pioneers was Raymond de la Roche of France. Defying societal expectations, she soloed in 1909, making her the first woman in the world to fly an aircraft. The following year, she shattered another glass ceiling by becoming the first woman to earn a pilot's license. Her achievements were not only historic but also groundbreaking, proving to the world that women were just as capable as men in piloting aircraft. Across the Atlantic, another trailblazer was making her mark. Harriet Quimby, an American woman, followed in de la Roche's footsteps. She became the first American woman to obtain a pilot's license in 1911. Quimby's accomplishment served as an inspiration for many American women and paved the way for their increased involvement in aviation. These early pioneers, Raymond de la Roche and Harriet Quimby, were more than just aviators. They were also symbols of change, challenging societal norms and pushing boundaries within the aviation industry. Their feats not only marked the beginning of women's involvement in aviation, but also paved the way for future female aviators. Their spirits remain alive in the countless women who continue to take to the skies, breaking barriers and making their mark in the world of aviation. But the involvement of women in aviation didn't stop there. During World War II, women took to the skies in ways that would forever change the landscape of aviation. As the world plunged into the throes of war, the demand for pilots surged. The United States, in particular, saw an opportunity to engage women in a unique and unprecedented way. Thus, the Women Air Force Service Pilots, or WASP, was born. This innovative program was not only a response to a wartime necessity, but also a daring challenge to societal norms. The WASP program was launched in 1943, under the leadership of two trailblazing women aviators, Jacqueline Cochran and Nancy Harkness Love. It allowed women to fly military aircraft for non-combat purposes. And although they were not granted military status at the time, these women pilots undertook missions as vital and as daring as their male counterparts. The WASPs, as they were known, flew every type of military aircraft, from small trainers to the biggest bombers. They ferried planes from factories to military bases. They towed targets for live anti-aircraft artillery practice. And they transported equipment and personnel. They flew over 60 million miles in all types of weather, at all times of day and night. Despite the inherent risks and the lack of recognition, these women aviators demonstrated an unwavering commitment to their country and to the cause of freedom. Their legacy is one of courage, determination, and a pioneering spirit that broke new ground for women in aviation. By the time the WASP program was disbanded in December 1944, over 1,000 women had served as WASP pilots. They had flown approximately 78 types of aircraft and had logged over 38,000 hours in the air. Their service during this time of crisis demonstrated the capabilities and resilience of women in the field of aviation. Their contributions were pivotal in the war effort, and their legacy continues to inspire and motivate women in aviation today. The WASPs paved the way for future generations of women pilots, proving that women are not only capable of flying, but they can excel in the field of aviation. As we moved into the era of commercial aviation, women continued to break barriers. The advent of commercial flight brought with it a new realm of opportunity, and women were ready to seize it. One woman in particular, Emily Howell Warner, is a standout example of this pioneering spirit. Warner's journey to the cockpit wasn't easy. She started her aviation career as a clerk for Frontier Airlines. However, her ambition was to fly. She earned her private pilot's license and worked her way up, gaining hours and experience as an instructor and charter pilot. Her tenacity and skill were undeniable, and in 1973, Frontier Airlines recognized this, making Warner the first female pilot to be hired by a US commercial airline. This milestone was not just a personal achievement for Warner, it was a breakthrough moment for all women in aviation. It proved that women could excel in commercial flight, a domain traditionally dominated by men. Warner's success paved the way for future generations of women pilots, opening doors and breaking down barriers. She didn't stop at being a pilot. Warner continued to lead the way, becoming the first woman to captain a scheduled US airline flight and later the first woman to become an air carrier captain. Her career is a testament to the potential of women in aviation when given the opportunity to prove their capabilities. Warner's achievement was a significant step forward in the fight for gender equality in aviation. Her story serves as a reminder that courage, determination and a love of flight can overcome even the toughest barriers. In the face of societal norms and gender stereotypes, Warner and many women like her soared above the clouds, proving that the sky is indeed the limit. Despite these advancements, women in aviation have faced and continue to face numerous challenges and barriers. Let's delve into a few case studies to illustrate this. The first one that comes to mind is Bessie Coleman. Born in the early 20th century, she had a dream of flying. But as an African-American woman in the United States, she was denied entry into flying schools. Undeterred, Coleman learned French, moved to France, and earned her pilot's license. Her story is one of resilience, determination, and a refusal to be grounded by prejudice. Moving across the globe, let's consider the experiences of women pilots in Malaysia. A study titled "Inequality in the Air: The Case of Malaysian Women Pilots" shows that these women face gender stereotyping and cultural biases. The study proposes mitigation initiatives such as affirmative action in recruitment and increased financial aid for training. It's a stark reminder that societal norms and prejudices can often cloud the skies for aspiring women aviators. Lastly, we turn to a collection of studies titled "Absent Aviators: Gender Issues in Aviation." This anthology explores the struggles and challenges faced by women in various aviation career fields, from pilots to engineers, air traffic controllers to flight attendants. It highlights the unique issues women face in the aviation realm, shedding light on the gender gap that still exists in this industry. These case studies highlight the resilience and determination of women in aviation, despite the numerous challenges they face. Looking to the future, the horizon appears bright for women in aviation. As we navigate through the clouds of this progressive era, we see a significant rise in the number of women in leadership roles within the aviation industry. Women are not only piloting aircraft, but also steering the direction of aviation technology, policy-making, and corporate strategy. A noteworthy example of this shift can be seen in the increasing number of women in executive roles at airlines, aviation corporations, and regulatory bodies. They are leading the charge, shaping the future of aviation with their innovative ideas, strategic vision, and a commitment to sustainable, inclusive growth. Advancements in aviation technology are also opening up new opportunities for women. From designing more efficient engines to developing sustainable aviation fuels, women engineers and scientists are at the forefront of these exciting innovations. Their contributions are critical in addressing some of the industry's biggest challenges, such as reducing carbon emissions and improving flight safety. Organizations like Women in Aviation International play a pivotal role in this positive movement. They provide a platform for women to connect, learn, and grow professionally. Through their advocacy, they are not only supporting women in the industry, but also inspiring the next generation of female aviators, engineers, and leaders. Despite the strides made, the journey is far from over. The industry continues to work towards greater gender equality, breaking down the remaining barriers and challenging the stereotypes that persist. But with every glass ceiling shattered, we move closer to a future where the skies hold no limit for women in aviation. The legacy of these pioneers and trailblazers continues to inspire and encourage women to reach for the skies, break new ground, and soar to new heights in the field of aviation.